Hi everyone, welcome to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast, your daily audio summary of the latest news reported in the Ukrainian media. I wasn't feeling well and had to miss yesterday's episode. Sorry for that. As you can hear, I'm still recovering. My name is Artem, and here is the news. For 654 days, Ukraine stands strong against the forces of the Russian invasion. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz stated that his country should be prepared to expand its support for Ukraine amid declining support from others, reports European Pravda. He said that this war is probably not going to end anytime soon, therefore it is essential to continue to support Ukraine in its defense struggle. Germany must be prepared to do even more when others weaken, the Chancellor said, apparently referring to the uncertain political situation in the US ahead of next year's presidential election. Earlier, White House National Security Council coordinator John Kirby said that if the US stops supporting Ukraine and Russia comes to NATO's borders, it will have to act in accordance with NATO's Article 5 and pay with the blood of Americans. Kirby noted that Russian President Vladimir Putin is counting on the US to stop supporting Ukraine. This will be a big gift for him. He also noted that the Russian president had expected such a development from the very beginning of this war, because he did not believe that the West or NATO should stay united or that the United States had sufficient staying power. At the same time, according to the Pew Research Center survey results, 47% of Americans believe that US aid to Ukraine should remain at the same level or be increased. Ukraine's Ministry of Foreign Affairs believes that the executive board of the International Olympic Committee has made a mistake in allowing Russian and Belarusian athletes to take part in international competitions as neutrals, reports NVUA. The ministry stresses that Belarusian and especially Russian athletes often represent sports organizations associated with the armed forces. Some of them are on active duty in the Russian military, and some of them wear symbols of Russia's armed aggression against Ukraine on their sport uniforms. Ukraine's Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba said that the Kremlin will use every Russian and Belarusian athlete as a weapon in its propaganda warfare. Earlier, the International Olympic Committee decided that individual athletes from Russia and Belarus will be eligible to compete in the 2024 Olympic Games as neutrals. Teams will not take part. Athletes are also not eligible to compete if they serve in the Belarusian or Russian armed forces or security services. We would really appreciate if you could recommend us to your friends and family, as well as share information on social media. This way, more people would learn about the podcast and truth about Russia's invasion of Ukraine. First Lady Olena Zelenska informed that Ukraine has managed to bring back 387 of the nearly 20,000 children abducted by Russia, reports ICTV. Zelenska stressed that each case is a unique special operation, as Russia does not make direct contact with Ukraine on this matter. This is why children go home through third countries with the mediation of other governments. Most of the children abducted from Ukraine are orphans or deprived of parental care and were taken to Russia as part of orphanages. Therefore, Zelenska believes that the principled position should be that they should be met by their families upon coming home, even if it's a foster family but a real one. Thank you for listening to the Highlights from Ukraine podcast. We're a commercial initiative of just two people, and we need your help to grow. Share information about the podcast, rate us in the app, subscribe to our Patreon. With your support, we are getting better.
We call on you to demand from governments of your countries to impose the toughest sanctions possible on Russia and its citizens to stop their invasion of Ukraine.